forward to a good discussion today. It's been a while since we've been here with Sports and Society, but I want to welcome my wonderful brother, Kevin Taylor, to a great discussion today. And we look forward to talking about Major League Baseball and their connection with the Players Alliance, a recent study about Black Lives Matter movement, and also some research done by Ohio University. And lastly, some Olympics news and discrimination with some of the Olympians there. So we're going to get started. But hello, Kevin. Good to see you as always.
Great to see you too, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So anything you want to share? Where last night was a big night for I'm drawing a blank.
The Milwaukee Bucks.
Milwaukee Bucks, yes. Yeah, so I'll let you start off this evening talking about the wonderful NBA finals this year. So go ahead, Kevin.
Yes, it was a great playoff. Actually, a great playoffs for the NBA this season, and some phenomenal action throughout the playoffs, as well as some guys who were actually on, as they say, the cusp of becoming superstars, took that next step. And we saw that last night with the Milwaukee Bucks beating the Phoenix Suns 4-2 in the best-of-7 series to take the NBA championship. And I wanted to see Phoenix get it. I really did. I like Chris Paul. I've liked him for a lot of years, and I was hoping he could do it. But after game 2, knowing Coach Bud, who used to coach here in Atlanta, he got his guys to tighten up that defense, and they didn't look back. So congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think I said the last name right. I really don't say his last name that much, but was the MVP, and rightfully so. Dominant performance, 50 points, had double-digit rebounds. He's just, as they say, he's a load to contend with. So congratulations to them. Also, Jeff Teague, former Atlanta Hawk, got a championship ring as well. So congratulations to Budenholzer, the staff organization of the Milwaukee Bucks, your 2020-21 NBA champions.
Excellent. Yes. So looking forward to a parade to celebrate their accomplishments. So it's really exciting.
But since we're in Atlanta, a lot of people are saying that, I should say a few, and I'm in agreement that because the Hawks lost in the conference finals to Milwaukee. So if you're going to lose to a team, lose to the team that won it all. So hopefully, yes, we can get a parade down Peachtree for Atlanta Hawks, hopefully next year. But yes, Milwaukee, their fans turned out last night, and it's good to see that city so excited for their team.
Yes, exactly. Yes, so it'll be cool. So now that the NBA season is over, we're going to dive into Major League Baseball and their big announcement last week with the Players Alliance, which I'm excited to discuss because Major League Baseball has committed $150 million over a period of 10 years to the Players Alliance to be able to support African Americans in baseball on the field, in the office, and also support some events to baseball, and also to having a more diverse league. And so the cool thing is that the money will be spread out over a period of 10 years, and it will be used to help support players that are in the on the field, but also people in management, accounting, finance, all areas of operation behind the scenes. And so, Kevin, I want you to just talk about that and the huge accomplishment and achievement for the Players Alliance.
It's big. I mean, because baseball has really taken a hit, especially in the urban community. This is wonderful because you've had so many years now where the participation as well as the growth for African Americans has really dwindled. I mean, you and I, we talked yesterday about this, and that I can remember a time when kids were playing little league, and they still do. But once they get some size, the interest may go to football or basketball, and they leave baseball in the rearview mirror. But now this money will help develop the office personnel, because you don't really have a lot of minorities in a front office role, as well as even in ownership. And I think that this will be a stepping stone, of course, to bring more minorities in, not just from the playing field, but also being able to learn. You still need scouts. You still need assistant general managers. You need people in the front office who can actually be able to be a voice, maybe in the boardroom as well. So this money would be great to be able to get young talent as well as maybe experienced talent to help bring players in and create a more diverse atmosphere within these organizations as well.
Exactly. Yes. And I wanted to look over my notes to provide exact information. So the program will be aimed at providing opportunities for youth, but particularly in baseball by funding leagues, equipment, tournaments, clinics, playground activities, and other similar efforts. So that is huge, because there are many communities around the U.S. that do not have baseball fields, and it'll give many children the opportunity to learn about the sport. So hats off to Major League Baseball and the Players Alliance for doing that.
Yes, and I have to say this too. Even though we're only in Atlanta, so I don't know what's going on, of course, around the country, but I'm pretty sure the teams, they'll probably do this too with adopting parks. But you may only have maybe one or two that are adopted, with being refurbished, or maybe equipment being provided. But look at it, look at how large Atlanta is, the
Yeah.
city that we're in.
Mhm.
And just think about how, let's say, for example, the Braves may do maybe one park a year. But with this money that will be allocated, this can, okay, of course, bring in more money to be able to, yes, refurbish and get more equipment to these urban parks. So then that way you will be able to distribute it evenly and more appropriately for these different markets of teams throughout the year. And yes, bring baseball back and more of an interest to the inner city, and also the parents and even those who go out into the community to watch games as well.
Yes, exactly. And also, speaking of that, also there will be a mentorship program too. So that's pretty cool to add.
Yes, you
Yes,
need that. Yes.
right. Yes. All right. So we'll check back with Major League Baseball and the Players Alliance maybe next year to get a status update. But we wish them the very best with their project.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now the next big story I found fascinating, because it's based on some research and some surveys across America about last year with the Black Lives Matter movement and sports. And so there were two researchers, one from the Ohio State University, and the other is from, I can't remember, I'm sorry, the name of the school, but there were two professors that surveyed individuals across the country about their thoughts regarding how athletes participated in the Black Lives Matter movement, and also athletes that took a knee. And so I will look at my notes to make sure I read the survey results correctly. But what so it was divided. Now I will say that, and according to the analysis, white Amer. Oh, also it also talked about paying college athletes, which was recent news regarding
Mhm.
NCAA. And so here are the results. There were 1,461 individuals surveyed. And according to the analysis, while Americans are particularly likely to oppose paying college athletes at 69% and kneeling in protest 73%, Black Americans are much more likely to support both paying athletes and also protesting during the national anthem. Now, only 29% of and 32% of African Americans surveyed opposed to paying the college athletes or kneeling. And but lastly, the study showed that Latinos and other ethnicities in the survey were also more supportive of paying athletes more than Caucasians. Now, as far as as far as white adults who opposed the Black Lives Matter movement, they had it was a 75% survey result that opposed this opportunity. And also 85% of Caucasians opposed the national anthem protests. Now, so all this was happening last year during the election with Donald Trump and Joe Biden, and just, with the death of George Floyd. So Kevin, share us your thoughts about this as far as the survey results, of about 1,400 Americans and last year.
Well, it basically comes down to, yes, you are getting your education, but how many times have we heard stories of an athlete going to college and they're from a single parent home, they have younger siblings, uh, parents, maybe it's a two-parent home, they can barely make ends meet. It comes down to that. And a lot of those are in these urban areas. I'm not
Yeah.
saying all,
Mhm.
but you hear about that more so in the urban areas.
Mhm.
So yes, I can see why that survey would tend to go toward the black athletes more than whites, because a lot of times these athletes come from these lower class or middle class areas,
Yes.
and that extra money they can send home to help with anything that's needed. I mean, college tuition is not cheap. And then plus another thing too is what a lot of people I think kind of want to lose focus on is these colleges and athletic programs make
Yeah.
millions of dollars
Yeah.
off of not just the teams, but apparel, likeness. They've been doing it for years.
Yes.
And so if the school can make money, now I understand the argument of, well, they're going to get a free education, but not all of them. Not all of them are on scholarship.
Right. Yes.
So you have to look at it whereas, okay, if you're going to, I'm just throwing a name out there, if you're going to tout Joe Smith as your number one player on your team, and you've got his face all in this small town and he's marketing your team, then why not pay him for his time as well as his marketability?
Yes.
Because you're using him and you're using his athletic ability to sell tickets,
Hmm.
to bring more of a revenue base for any type of games that are on television as well. So, because just about every game is on television.
Yes.
So, you have those games. You have ad revenue from games that are radio. You have people who attend games, and let's say his face is on the program.
Right.
Same thing. So yes, you do want to give some type of incentive to your players. I feel, because the days of just playing for a college education, that's gone by the wayside, because tuition has gone up, and you can't just do that now. I
Right.
feel, because a lot of families are struggling. They're
Hmm.
struggling, and that extra income will be great. And just make sure that the players don't lose sight of the goal. True enough, while they're going to school, and you want them to go to class, you want them to get an education, but at the same time, if it's a situation where it's an autograph signing, because we see here even in Georgia where players have gotten in trouble. But if it's an autograph signing, don't just be there just because it's their name. They're signing, their name. Yes, give them something for their time. Give them something for being there in promoting your program. It's
Yeah.
just it's just it's just a good way to not only show that you're doing the right thing, but also trying to help out a kid in college as well.
Exactly. Yes, I agree. Yes. Well, looking forward to seeing, how this develops over the next couple of years, but it was good news. So I appreciate your insight about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And like I said, you want to still build your brand. I mean, because let's say this kid can give you. He comes in as a freshman. If he stays, yeah, that's the thing about college sports now. You don't know how long these kids are going to stay. But if they put your sport or your school in a new light for people to view or attend games, you're making money. So hey, why not distribute that? I don't see the harm in it because the school is still going to make its revenue.
Yes, exactly. That's
Especially
true.
especially if they go to a top tier bowl. I mean, hey,
Oh,
your revenue is going to be through the
millions
roof.
of dollars. Right. Exactly. Yes, that's true. Yes. Well, okay. Well, thank you. And now that we are just one day away from the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, Japan, we want to highlight some stories that you might not have heard about that deal with some discrimination with the Olympics and the Olympic Committee. And I want to start off with, make sure I have her name correctly. Alice Deering from the United Kingdom, or well, Great Britain, and she's a swimmer there. And she was told that she could not wear a specific hair swim cap to cover her natural hair.
Yes.
And this ruling came back from the International Swimming Federation, and they did not approve the cap for her curly hair. Now, I'm going to go a little bit beyond that before we talk about Alice Deering. That within our community, there are 64% of children do not know how to swim,
Mm.
and so yeah, that number kind of boggled me too.
Mm.
Um, and so it's nice to see Alice Deering, at the Olympics, but to encourage young African American children to pursue swimming. And the thing is now it's like, how do we move forward from this? Because she's wearing her natural hair and she had a cap specifically for her natural hair. And so now that was a problem. So Kevin, do you want to share some thoughts about that story? And yeah.
Well, well, see, it's very delicate. I'll say that, and the reason why I say it's delicate is because the Olympic, the IOC, who basically governs the games, they they have very strict rules,
Mhm.
and it's no gray area. I put it like that.
Yes.
It's no gray area. I mean, it's like they have whoever their sponsor is. That's basically who they're going with. Like for example, we've seen like swimmers where just only Speedo.
Mhm. Mhm.
But see, Speedo may not have a line of caps that are dedicated to women who do have large curly hair or
Yes.
even braided hair. I mean, in like thick braids. So once a plan or something is implemented that's in place, it's no amending, is no uh like I said, gray area regarding that.
Mhm.
Now times have changed, just like we said a minute ago.
Yes.
Times have changed.
Yes.
Women are wearing their hair in various styles,
Mhm.
and especially urban women.
Yes.
And so probably I don't know this for sure, but this is my opinion.
Mhm.
Wherever a deal was in place or wherever the rules were set in place, they didn't look at that. They just only looked at one aspect of the situation,
Mhm.
creating it for all women,
Mhm.
being unified with what they had to wear,
Yes. Uh-huh.
not from a various style aspect. So now you do have a company that specializes in these type of caps, and they're saying no because it still would be you basically would be catering to one group. That's the way I feel.
Right.
But like I said, I don't have confirmation of that. But again, that's just my opinion. But yes, you do want to show that, yes, you can change something, because that was before the games even started. It's not like the games have started and then the person wore this and then you're telling them no. You had plenty of time to still say, okay, this has been approved. It is within the regulations. Fine.
Yes.
Now you're looking. Now you may have repercussions to say, okay, well, they're not going to accept me because of how I wear my hair. See, you have to look at things like that.
Yes, that's true. Well, we still have a little way to go, but thank you for sharing that. Now, this story I found fascinating, where it was about biology keeping two athletes out of the race. And I want to correct their name. I mean, say the names correctly. It's Christine Masilingi, and they were ruled. Well, they became the two latest Black female athletes to become ineligible to compete in the Olympics due to high testosterone levels.
Mm.
And they're from the country of Nambia, and so. But the thing is, in that country, there is a many people have high levels of testosterone, and so these ladies were tested during a medical assessment, and it was ruled that they were too high, and they were not able to compete. And I'm going to read what their quote. It says, "The global governing body requires that female athletes' blood testosterone levels be under 5 nmol, nanomoles per liter, to compete in women's events, including the 400 meter." And so, unfortunately, due to the high levels of, in their testing, they will not be able to compete for the Olympics. And so, first of all, I did not know anything about this, and also about the biology in this, biology of women in this country. That from my research, that it's common for women to have high testosterone levels. So, still, how do you handle that during the Olympics when it's something that these women cannot really control? So, Kevin, share your thoughts about that as well.
Oh, well, thanks.
I mean,
But I know what you
yeah,
mean.
because I wasn't familiar with this, so it was very enlightening to read about it.
Well, well, the only thing I can say now, of course, your women are built differently from me. But the only thing I can think of is something. Okay, now you have to be careful of this, because we've seen that in sports here with men,
Mhm.
because maybe they was taking a supplement,
Mm,
or maybe something they ate
mhm.
caused a high level of HGH,
Okay.
human growth hormone.
Mhm.
And that can also be a factor.
Yes.
And now, even though they're from, African country,
Mhm.
but in their preparation of getting ready, like I said, maybe it was something in a supplement that they had.
That's true. Yeah.
So in this situation, it would be best to try to trace the situation, but that could be very hard to do, because we don't know when it was ingested and over how long of a time. But yes, on any competitive level, leagues, as well as even on the amateur level, they're going to say that they probably had something that would have given them an unfair advantage. So to just go ahead and not have that, they'll just not have them compete at all. So if I had to guess, if they were taking a supplement, because sometimes it could be something very small that could
Mhm.
have increased that level in
Yeah.
them. So that could have been what happened here. But it's unfortunate. But I see the ruling on that. I see the ruling on that.
Yes. Now also because with the high level, they were excluded from the 400 meter, but able to compete in the 100 meter and 200 meter. So excuse me,
Mm.
sorry. So yes, so fortunately they will be able to compete, but I'm kind of wonder why those two and not the 400. So we'll have to look into that as well.
Well,
But
it's a longer race,
yes,
with,
yes,
with the distance. So
right.
you you got on that track and they blow up by everybody.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. Well, thank you. Yes.
but yeah, I see your point though. Yeah, but it's like one good and the other, is not. And while we kind of on the subject, look at Sha'Carri Richardson.
Mm,
I mean, it was a lot of backlash, on her situation. And you did something that I believe in her state is legal.
yes,
But
right.
see, see again, it's no gray area.
Exactly.
No gray area. And see now she's out totally.
I know. Yes.
Very unfortunate.
hmm Well, I would like to end the program on a good note. Any exciting news you can share with us in the sports today, and then we'll close it out. But anything you can think of that I missed in our research?
Well, I would just like to say congratulations again to the Atlanta Hawks. No one expected them to, yes, get to where they went in the playoffs. Well, actually, let me go one step back. Because in March, at the beginning of March, no one had this team going to the playoffs.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, that's
so,
true.
so they made a coaching change. In my mind, Nate McMillan is the coach of the year. He came in just for the All-Star break, but did a phenomenal job. Humble man.
Yeah.
I have yet to meet him in person, but I have, talked to him on the Zoom calls, from the press conferences. But very humble, and he loves his team. The team loves him. The city loves him, and when they get everybody back next year, that team is going to be they set the bar. So
Yeah.
this team is going to be a lot of fun to watch. So congratulations on them for having a fun season, and a little bit of soccer news on all my social media handles, except for YouTube. But you'll see in my conversation I had with Joseph Martinez. He is returning to the field actually now as we record this.
Okay.
Atlanta United FC, they're in Cincinnati, and hey, they call him the King of Atlanta.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that's
so,
good.
so
So welcome
he's
to
yeah, so he's returning to
Atlanta.
the field. So that's some good news there. And hopefully the United, they have not been playing well, but hopefully they can bounce back, and we get the Braves going as they
Yeah.
go into the latter part of the season, and have some great sports. And that training camp for the Falcons is right around the corner. I think in about a week or two. I think next week actually. And
Okay.
so yeah, so we got some interesting things. So I'll be covering as much as I can through my social media handles as well.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. We appreciate those sports updates. So thank you for doing that. Well,
Yes.
we're going to close out. We had another sports and society discussion this evening, and look forward to connecting with you all again. Thank you for watching, or thank you for tuning in. And also, our next discussion will be about the Olympics, so we'll have an update about that as well. So thank
Yes.
you for watching the Sports and Society on KISA Public Radio, and we'll see you again soon. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye bye.
Bye.